At this time, I'll call the September 22nd, 2022 meeting to order for the Dixon County Commission. Would you please stand and join in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We have two things to add to the agenda. First of all, to appoint a voting delegate and alternate for the K-Camp meeting at our state meeting. And then also an executive session for discussion of non-elected personnel. And I would move that we approve the amended agenda.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and second. Any question? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The consent agenda includes the minutes of the September 15th meeting, also expenditures of $203,672.57, a security wire of $3,600, and then a hand check of $81.04.
I move to approve the consent agenda.
We have the motion and second for approval of the consent agenda. Are there any items to discuss? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Commission comments, Ron.
Yes, I did spend a little bit of time yesterday morning at the Juvenile Detention Center, Junction City. Things are going quite well, and we're right on schedule for financially looking pretty good for the year. So we're pretty proud of saying that. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
Okay. Craig.
Yeah, next Wednesday I'll be heading to Ottawa County for the KAC meeting at 10 o'clock. Go to the county that the president's from. That's all I have left.
Okay. Last week, Dixon County EDC, we had our meeting. It seems like there's some really good things happening, and there's probably going to be some announcements of some positive economic growth that maybe will be taking place here in the near term. Sometimes on that, they're very careful confidentiality wise to make sure that everybody's ready to release information if they have a special project and so on. But anyway, there's seems to be some encouraging news out on the horizon that would impact various areas within Dixon County. Earlier this morning, I attended a Military Affairs Council breakfast over at Junction City, and the speakers had to do with economic development and specifically SBA loans. And then tomorrow I do plan to attend a Gold Star dedication for a monument for Gold Star families at the state capitol. And they're also going to have a special dedication following that for Senator Pat Roberts. And typically on some of the former senators, they place a plaque on the sidewalk. And this is going to be kind of in the same vicinity where Senator Nancy Kassebaum has hers, and then Senator Bob Dole, and then the next one will be for Senator Roberts. That's all I had. Are there any comments from the public? I don't believe we have any comments, and so we're going to go ahead and move on to our reports from county officers. Brad.
Okay. I think I'd mentioned last week a little bit, but I've been contacted by the chief at DK Fire District number 2, and they're again wanting to work on trying to get a petition signed to remove certain sections of Jefferson Township from the Saline County Fire Protection Area and move it over into their area. This is something we tried a few years ago, and for whatever reason they didn't. It wasn't that they couldn't get the signatures. I think it was more they didn't have time to get out and get them. And so it kind of died on the vine at that time. They got busy, and so they're wanting to do that again. Jeannie's gotten the the registered voter list for those sections. And what it is we've got, I think it's 12 sections that are on the east side of K-15 within Jefferson Township that, as the crow flies, are much closer to Hope than they are to Gypsum or to the Carlton. And so it stands to reason that with K-15 being a natural barrier, that would be the barrier for the fire district. and they would get better protection from that side. So I know when we approached this years ago, we had talked to Saline County. I'd actually talked to the fire chief at Saline County District 1, and they were in agreement to give that up. They'll lose a little bit of tax base, and our District 2 will gain that tax base, but I think it'll be good for everybody. So I have given the resolution to the Saline County administrator that we had prepared, and it had been approved by their county councilor years ago. And I've got ours ready that had been approved by Doug and ours years ago. And so if they get the signatures, we'll be coming back to you with those petitions and those resolutions. So Janelle and I met with Brianna from the North Central Regional Planning Commission last week. And she has the information on a historic preservation grant, and it's going to finish up with what we have compiled to get that done and submit to the state to try and obtain the grant and the tax credits on our project now that we're essentially done. So she thought within a couple of weeks they'd have it compiled and ready to go. And so we'll hopefully be ready to submit that and be successful on that. So the landfill backfill is processing well. I don't know how many tons. Sarah out there had given me a list of the tonnage, and I don't remember what it was. It was significant, but the guys have been out there working and hauling continuously for several days. We've got a blade working out there to smooth them out, so it's going as planned. In your package, you've got a copy of the conditional use permits that have been considered and approved by the Planning Commission. That'll be on your agenda for next week. Then you also have a copy of the resolution that has been amended in regards to the wind farms and how we would treat those in the county. That's after we met with the folks from Meadow Green on several occasions with our staff and Doug and their staff and their legal counsel, we came up with some amendments to that have been approved by the Planning Commission. And certainly we are in agreement of it. I think it'll be a much easier document to deal with when it comes to the wind farms and make it easier for them to make application. But we don't give up in it. We're not giving up anything. It's just, I guess, primarily verbiage, terminology and things. So we still have in there the clause for us to hire a special inspector, an investigator inspector at their expense, which they were agreeable to and things like that. So we haven't given up anything. It's in there for our protection as well as theirs. It just makes it more applicable to the wind farm. So, and that'll be on your agenda for next week for consideration as well.
Question, Brad, going back to the dirt. How's that being billed? Is that coming out of the highway department at the time out there, or is it will be expense to the landfill, environmental services?
We are billing the hours and the time and the cost of the dirt back to environmental services.
Okay.
It remains to be seen whether he has enough money in his budget to pay for it.
Yeah, that's what I was.
So there'll be some that'll probably have to come out of Martin's, but felt like she had a couple of resources in the budget that she could take that out of. So.
Okay.
But we are keeping track of every load's being weighed in and we're keeping track of the staff time and everything out there and equipment time. So.
Like I said, I realize it's environmental service for all one unit, but I mean, why should we take money from Martin's budget?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. And Martin's been a real team player. I mean, he realizes that he's given up a lot, just giving the staff to do it.
What time to do it? Could be doing it.
Yeah, he could be doing other road and bridge stuff, but yeah, they're documenting everything back to environmental services. So, and the roof at the highway shop, speaking of the highway shop, should be completed today. The guys been coming in at 6:30 or so in the morning and working early till about 3. And Martin said when they left yesterday, they just had a little bit of guttering and some flashing to put on, and it would be complete. So they got right in and got it done. So then we talked a little bit about the NACO art contest that Kathy will be putting together some information to send out to the schools here in the next couple of days. So all I've got.
Okay, thank you. Doug.
No, I don't have anything to offer other than what a couple of things I was involved with Brad on it. Thank you.
Okay. On notices and communications, I did want to mention that earlier this morning in our work study session, Rose Johns, she's our Register of Deeds came in and gave us a report and update on her office, and also reminded us, and once the public reminded, it's an office that's open to the public, available, so you can go in and check on some records. And then the issue as far as fraud alert, she brought that up for discussion on what other counties are doing, and just a few safeguards in that regards. I did not have any other notices or communications I received. Did anyone else have anything? So we'll go ahead and move on past our resolutions and unfinished business. We will have a couple of resolutions coming up here, but we'll go to other business. And the first item we have here is to consider an increase on vaccinations, the administrative fee from $25 to $30. So Brad, do you have additional information on that if you'd give it a shot?
Yeah, I do. No pun intended, right?
Oh, yeah. So
Recently, the federal government increased the Medicare reimbursement rate from $25 to $30 for vaccinations, and we try to mimic that. Otherwise, if we're only charging 25, we're leaving money on the table. We deal with someone that's on federal or state assistance. So that is reflected in our annual fee schedule. So that, and then the $18 landfill fee, which is the third item on the list on the agenda, are both reflected in that. So we're asking that you approve the increase up to $30 for the vaccination administration fee that we bill out to people based on that reasoning. So,
okay. Are there any questions?
The tipping fee won't go after the first of the year.
tipping fee will increase October 1.
Okay, that part of this resolution, or is that?
That's not part of this. That's
Okay.
part of the next one.
Okay,
Yeah, so we'll,
Separate resolution for
I
that.
thought you did, but
yeah, so, yeah, even though that'd been brought up, we'll
Yeah.
first do a motion to increase this administrative fee for vaccinations, $25 to $30.
I'll make that motion.
second,
We have the motion and the second. Any discussion or question? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item we do have is to adjust the gate fee at the transfer station. This would be effective October 1st, 2022. So Brad, do you have some additional information on that?
Yes, this would coincide with the recent contract that we signed with Hams to increase, based on their increases to the costs. And our increase or our change would be we would remain at $10, the base fee at the scale for anything less than 400 pounds. Then up to 2,000 pounds, it would go from 0.026 to 0.03 cents. And then that would equate, if you did the math, $62 a ton, which is just slightly over what it cost us from Hams. But then we also have additional costs of running the building, our personnel, things of that nature, the scales and everything that along with the annual $18 fee, which is the next item, that would offset those expenses. So the resolution, Jeannie will put a number on it, is basically the resolution that creates our solid waste plan and requirements, with the adjustment of the from $59 to $62 a ton.
Okay. And the resolution on that is 092222. So we'll need to, I'll go ahead and move that we adopt that resolution, 092222.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion?
And as Craig said, that would be effective October, it said
October 1st,
because that's when the Hams contract increases. So,
and this is for the transfer stations.
and we have reached out, Derek reached out to the haulers a couple of months ago and told them to anticipate this, because as you well know, they have to adjust their billing
Right.
as well. So we tried to give them as much heads up as we could. So
And they did.
okay.
And Brad, this will carry through,
Mine did.
this will carry through 2023.
It'll be continuous, yeah.
And the only way it would ever get adjusted, it'd have to be by a new resolution.
Okay, to go up more. Okay.
So we did have the
Go
motion.
down, but yeah.
Yeah, we did have the motion in the second. Any other questions? Otherwise, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. And let's see. It has here that I can sign on behalf of the commission. So only one place to sign, Jeannie, is what it looks like.
I thought there was a place on there for all three of you, but on the last page.
Oh, maybe it's carried over. Yep. There is. Thank you. It was on the next page. Okay, the next item is another resolution to consider setting the annual landfill fee from the current $18 to $24. And this particular one would be effective January 1st, 2023. Do you have any additional information to add to that, Brad?
Yes, this is an adjustment to our county fee schedule. And within that would be the first request, which is the $25 to $30 for the administrative fee that's reflected in there as well. Plus the currently, since I don't know what year it was, 2008 or so, we upped the annual landfill fee per household from, I think it was $12 to $18 at the time. And this would adjust that from $18 to $24. That would make it even $2 a month, which is what Janelle and I come up with. We figured that was easier. I rounded it off and still don't think that $2 a month is excessive. But that helps offset some of those costs of operating the transfer station that are not covered by the scale fees and tipping fees. And that goes into the standard operation of the transfer station out there. We, several years ago, went from billing that, we used to bill it out, which was a real pain in the backside. Where now we assess it right on the property taxes of every parcel that has a home on it. And yet it has to be an occupied dwelling. We do not bill businesses, they pay separately the tipping fees. But we do bill for parcels that have occupied residences on it, so.
Okay.
So it's not a resolution.
Well, it isn't labeled resolution, but it's actually,
So do you want a resolution number?
it probably wouldn't hurt to put it on there. There's a signature place on the back for all three of them to sign, but it's officially our fee schedule.
Same number and then -A.
Yes.
So I'd go ahead and move that we adopt resolution 092222-A. And this is for setting the annual landfill fee at $24 effective January 1st, 2023.
I'll second it.
We've got the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item we have is to appoint Sally Martin to the unexpired term of the Lyon Township Treasurer. And we do have a letter from Todd Martin, who is the Lyon Township Trustee, and also Jason Becker, the Lyon Township Clerk, that they are recommending that we appoint Sally Martin to fill the unexpired term of Lyon Township Treasurer to replace the recently deceased Jim Hay. So I would move that we appoint Sally Martin.
Second.
Got the motion and the second to appoint Sally Martin to that unexpired term as Lyon Township Treasurer. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. The next item we have is to appoint one person from each political party to destroy the ballot from the 2020 general election. And this is per statute. So we have that from the Secretary of State's office, and it is a statute and also the recommendation of our clerk. Jeannie, do you have anything to add to that, or just want to tell us who the two people to appoint?
Brad Woman for the Republican and Seth Johnson for the Democrat.
Okay. And that is part of it, that a representative from each political party. And when you say destroy the ballot, basically it'll be shredded?
Right.
Okay. Would someone want to make that motion?
So moved.
I'll second it.
We have the motion and the second that we go ahead and appoint a person from each political party to destroy the ballots by shredding on the 2020 general election. And this is per statute, and be Brad Hammond and Seth Johnson are those two representatives. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. The next item we have is to have a voting delegate and alternate at the K Camp meeting when that takes place. And I believe in the past, had Craig Chamberlain as delegate and Ron Ruler as the alternate. So I'd go ahead and move that we appoint those two.
Second.
We have the motion and second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
If you want to sign that, Lynn, and have Jeannie attest it, and then I'll go in and fill it in
Okay.
afterwards with on the computer and send it to them.
And I have, here's the other. Oh, you need to sign that still. Fair enough. Okay, we're going to have an executive session. And for 10 minutes, this is to discuss non-elected personnel, and would include the commissioners and Brad and also our attorney, Doug Thompson. And just so we kind of have a chance to clear the room, I'll go ahead and move that we go into executive session starting at 11:24. And then we would finish it up in 10 minutes at 11:34. Is there a second to discuss non-elected personnel? So we have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. We'll go into executive session here in a few minutes. Let's see, Jeannie, here's the things.
I did email you that deal at the wind farm, or the wind energy.
What about?
I sent the whole thing to you.
Oh, okay, okay. For the training, or the seminar. Gotcha.
Okay, we're going back online and we have opened the doors. I would move that we go back to regular session from executive session.
I'll second that.
You have the motion and the second. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We're back in regular session. Our executive session was for the purpose to discuss non-elected personnel. And so we were able to have that discussion. There's no action to be taken at this time. Is there anything else that to be brought up before we adjourn from the meeting?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second
We
it.
have the motion and the second to adjourn. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.